and Cuba's resistance to U.S. imperialism, and all the challenges that they faced, how the U.S. snatched away the Liberation War in 1898, when they were on the verge after fighting such a fierce battle against 300,000 Spanish soldiers, to finally win their independence. And then, of course, you saw that the USS Maine, that ship that was mysteriously brought into the Havana harbor by the United States in 1898, as Cuba was about to win its victory of independence, that on February 15th, 1898, that ship mysteriously exploded in the harbor and 266 U.S. sailors were killed. That immediately gave the U.S. the pretext in Congress to declare war on Spain, and just took from Cuba's victory, possessed Cuba until 1902 as an outright colony, and took Puerto Rico, which it still has as a colony, and Guam. And I'm going to show a picture of the monument to the USS Maine that is there on the shore. Any tourist will see it there when you go to Havana. And it was built in 1926 by the Neo colony, and to honor the people who had died. But also, it had the picture of it had a bust of McKinley, the president at the time of the invasion, of Leonard Wood, the first U.S. Governor General of Cuba in the occupation, and I think Theodore Roosevelt, the Rough Riders, the imperialists. But at the 1961, right after the Bay of Pigs defeat, the eagle that stood on top, representing the United States, it was removed, and it still is removed to this day. And it's actually, that eagle is actually in the U.S. interest section in Havana. They've held on to it ever since then. But it's really interesting because the slogan on that monument says, it's a resolution from the U.S. Congress that says Cuba should be and will be independent. That's the idea of U.S. independence and freedom. And we should remember that history of what the U.S. means by independence and democracy, freedom. Use all those words. It just means democracy for the imperialists. And the freedom of Latin America will mean freedom from U.S. control, and really, hopefully, that more and more countries, including ourselves, can have a true revolution like Cuba to free the people from capitalist oppression, which we all are suffering from. So I'm going to show some pictures. I know I've talked too long. This man, it's like, there's a lot of Bagsville taxi drivers, and they're like, come on, I'll give you a ride. And so you go, no, you don't want to have these men be working so hard to drag you around on their bikes, but it's their income, and they insist they need to take you on a ride. So we did it, and at the end I was interviewing him, very nice man. And when you have to notice how he's talking and how he's speaking, because he talks about illegal, like he was illegal before, but it's the way so many Cubans were living for a number of years when things couldn't be provided. They were doing it, to make some income. And now that so many things are legalized by this adjustment, this necessary economic adjustment, to allow the whole population to take part in building the more of the on the ground decision making to build up the economy and defend the revolution. You can just see that it's very helpful for them. And then there's no editing. All I have is a subtitle. There's no real, smooth editing, whatever. Then you see suddenly Gerardo, Adriana, and the little baby. So
en Cuba desde el año 2004. Mucho tiempo trabajé ilegal aquí en Cuba porque no estaban dando licencia operativa, pero a raíz del 2010 para acá dieron todas las licencias operativas que todos los ciudadanos cubanos quisieron optar por ellos y legalizaron a todo el mundo. Nosotros no podemos montar extranjeros, ya gracias a Dios podemos hacerlo porque lo actualizamos. Ya podemos ir para donde sea, para donde quieramos nosotros. trabajar libre sin ningún tipo de preocupación porque estamos autorizados a hacerlo. Mucho antes de tener la licencia estábamos ilegales, nos ponían muchas multas porque no teníamos la autorización para hacerlo, pero ahora sí tenemos autorización.
¿Y puedes ganar suficiente para...?
Suficiente no, pero más o menos hemos tenido una mejoría en la economía.
¿Y paga impuestos mensualmente?
Sí, mensualmente. Todos los meses se paga el impuesto de la licencia operativa más la seguridad social, que es para, en caso de un año posterior, uno se jubile para una ayuda, como una jubilación.
¿Y qué hacía antes de ser taxista?
Bueno, yo he trabajado en varias cosas, de custodio me parece en la Astura, en la empresa de bebidas y licores también, allá en la Astura, yo soy de la Astura. Trabajé mucho tiempo allá, de inspector también.
¿Y qué piensas del anuncio de los dos presidentes?
Oh, es una maravilla si todo se cumple como se está pensando que se cumple. Si todo se da como se está pensando, eso va a ser una maravilla para los dos países, tanto para Cuba como para Estados Unidos, volver a tener relaciones bilaterales entre los dos países, entre los dos gobiernos.
¿Y qué es lo más importante para el pueblo cubano en cuanto a los cambios políticos entre los dos países? ¿Qué necesita Cuba más?
¿Qué necesita? Ayuda económica. Y a quitar el seguro. Si se arreglan por fin los dos países, se quita el bloqueo económico y financiero que tiene el gobierno de Estados Unidos contra Cuba. Y eso nos ayudaría mucho a nosotros porque entrarían todas las cosas que nosotros necesitamos para vivir.
¿Y pertenece al sindicato o...?
El sindicato de los trabajadores por cuenta propia.
Sí.
Sí.
¿Y qué actividad tienen los sindicatos?
Los sindicatos de defender a los trabajadores. Defender a los trabajadores.
¿Y cómo decidió ser miembro? ¿Cómo se hace para un cuenta propista?
Sí, porque antes no había una fijación de sindicatos, pero ahora sí, a raíz de todas las licencias operativas que dieron, como hay una gran cantidad de trabajadores por cuenta propia, ya se hace un sindicato. Se ha hecho un sindicato.
¿Y hubo represión estatal de unirse a un sindicato?
No, el que no quiere estar en un sindicato, no pertenecer a un sindicato, no pertenece ya. No es obligado.
¿Y cómo es que quería ser sindicalista? ¿Cómo es que quería ser?
Sí, porque eso es cuando se comete alguna injusticia con el trabajador, el sindicato es el que está para defenderlo.
Que vas a salir, no empieza el labio desbaratado. Mire, me lo dio mamá. Me lo dio mamá, que tu mamá me lo dio.
Oh, look at that.
La mujer habla y todo. Y el sol le da escondido y vos caes. Bien.
Is that cute?
Coqueta. I just was showing this because when Johanna came with me to visit my friends there, in the building, like the house is always open, people always come in and out. And this little 7-year-old is a ballet dancer, and she was just amazed at how not shy she was, involved in adult conversation, and she just was, very impressed with the kids. They were cute. And this is the way in the background, that building is the U.S. interest section, which probably will soon become the U.S. embassy. And this was turned into a rallying site. Many rallies held there during the time of Elian's struggle. And that's sad statue is of Jose Marti holding a little child, really representing the struggle for Elian. And way in front of the intersection was like many, many dozens of Cuban flags that were put there, or black at times, to remind people of the killing of all the Cubans by U.S. terrorism when they were demanding Posada's extradition. A monument to the Maine, with the eagle missing on the top. I guess in the years ago they removed the bust of McKinley and Leonard Wood and Lee Roosevelt. This is another group of people who are running a little food place, Vistas. The price, for example, of bocadito, those big kind of hamburger things there, those are 15. That's about the equivalent of if you had U.S. Foreign currency. That's about the equivalent of about 70 cents. But that's the price that they sell to Cubans, and they were very happy. They were. This is from the International Department of the Cuban Federation of Workers. The two men spoke to us at length. We have a lot of video from that time. They were explaining the new economic changes, the role of the union, and working very hard to have the workers join the union. When I asked him, were you repressed for trying to join the union? Like here in the U.S. you get fired if you try to join the union. He didn't even understand it. he didn't even understand that concept. I'll show this picture because this is at the Museum of the Revolution. And I just love this picture because this was like a little telescope that you see the picture of Fidel. This was when they were in Mexico, and he was looking through the glass to see how their firing of the rebels when they were training for going back to Cuba for the Revolutionary War. And there he's checking the results. Serious. And this is the Museum of the Revolution. This is our comrade Johanna from LA. That skirt is one of many that the women involved in the struggle to support the guerrillas in the mountains. They inside, you can see from that black, inside were the skirts with these big pockets where they would carry weapons to bring in. And they would often walk with their father or so on to not be suspected. And that's the Granma boat in back of that, behind glass. And when you look at it, you think, how did 82 men fit on that? Barely. At the end of 1956. I wanted to show you.
What was he saying?
It's out of focus. She's totally cute. I mean, when you think just a few months ago he had a double life sentence. One in his wife leaves so that Rosa and I used to visit him all the time. And this is the workers in that factory.